Say hello to the people, Phil.
Uncharted, more like unfarted.
Ah, Jesus Christ. And welcome back to After the Hype. I am your host, Taffin Bothell, here with my good buddy Phil Shoemaker. Here,
It's me.
After the Hype is our review show for H.Y.E.P, H-Y-E-P. Have you ever played a show we run over at twitch.tv/2pennygames every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Central Time there, give or take, subject to change. This last week, Phil.
Yeah.
We had you sit down and for the first time ever, play yourself some Uncharted for a Thief's End.
That is true.
Yes, sir. Now, real quick.
I did play it.
Some quick facts, some quick statistics. Because you know I like my facts and statistics. Phil.
Yeah.
Uncharted 4 released May 10th, 2016. And got a 93 on Metacritic. Now, before I get to sales, my friend. Uncharted 2, 96 on Metacritic. So 3 points higher. Uncharted 3, 92. 1 point lower. Uncharted 2, over 7 million copies. Uncharted 3, over 6 million copies. The Nathan Drake Collection, over 5 million copies. Can you guess where Uncharted 4 Thief's End lies somewhere in those sales?
I'm going to say A Thief's End is probably higher than all of them combined.
Not combined.
No? Oh, okay.
No. That's like 20 million plus. That's stupid money.
Gotcha. I'm going to say like 12.
You're not too far off. Uncharted 4 is 15 million copies.
Jesus, that's not even that far off. Yeah,
no, it's really not.
Combined.
Well, and then if you just include the original trilogy before the collection, it does outsell the first 3 games combined.
Damn.
I know. Lot of big sales on that.
Yeah,
Uncharted
if you take out the 3-game collection, yeah, it's more than all 3.
Yeah. It's fucking nuts. So Phil, it was your first time playing Uncharted 4. 6 years later? No. Yes, 6 years later.
Something like that, yeah.
How did you feel, buddy? How did it stack up? Is it like the original 3? Is it more the same? Where are you at? How did you feel about Uncharted 4?
I thought it was. Yeah, I think it's my favorite one. Out of all of them.
Okay.
I was about to say so far, but there's no other ones except for the Lost Legacy.
We got one more in the pipe.
I don't think we're gonna play it.
We're gonna play it. At some
We are?
point. Yeah, man, we got a show that we gotta make.
Yeah, we still got plenty of games though.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like
I mean,
we're
we're
running out.
gonna take a pause.
Mm.
We'll leave and come back. You know, some other things I want to get to. But yeah, Uncharted 4. So for reference, I should have pulled this up earlier, but I forgot. Forgive me, ladies and gentlemen, for forgetting. So for reference, let me see here. I believe. Here we are. So if I pull up our scores,
yeah.
Uncharted 1, and we're not going to score yet. Uncharted 1, you put it a 6. Uncharted 2, a 7.5, and Uncharted 3, a 7. So you were fairly positive on all of them, but you weren't in love with any of them.
1 or 3. 2. I'm a huge fan of the train sequence. I'd say.
Okay, there we go.
And then
so
the train sequence, and then the snow after the train crash.
There we go. So you said you this one is your favorite. Would you say you are in love with Uncharted 4?
No.
No.
I would not say I'm in love with it.
Okay, expound.
Well, I mean, you caught me at a bad time. It's been a while.
I asked you for an opinion on a review show. Holy shit! Imagine.
I mean, like, no. You mean expound on if I'm in love with it? I'm not in love with it. Fucking, we played the game at this point a couple weeks back.
Okay, so what is your opinion of the game, sir?
I like the game. I'm just not in love with it. It's like, I'm not exactly sure what else you want me to say. Like
anything, man. Gameplay, cinematics, literally, like what caught your eye, what didn't, what did you like, what did you not like throughout the entire experience?
The game looks fantastic. It's the same gunplay from the rest of the series. I like Sam as a character. I like the relationship between Nate and Elena, right?
Yes.
Okay. I like the little Crash Bandicoot bit. That was funny.
Oh, in the
It
beginning of the
was,
game with the
yep,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I like that. I actually liked our antagonist in this one a lot. Rafe.
Rafe, yeah, probably one of our more memorable antagonists.
I'd say just barely beats out Lazarevich for me.
Mm-hmm. He's got
I,
like
I, I
he's got like motivations and character traits beyond bad guy.
yeah, yeah. I like that he's basically like a Walmart brain Nathan Drake, because like he granted he's rich, but he wants to he doesn't care about the monetary value of the treasure. He just wants the notoriety.
Mm.
And throughout his whole life, he keeps hearing about the great Nathan Drake,
Mm-hmm.
and he's tired of hearing about it. He wants his own story, but
For
he
sure.
doesn't get that.
For sure.
Um,
I'm sure there's also just a lot of elements of him that thinks he's better than Nathan.
yeah, I mean that's he's an elite. He thinks that he's supposed to be inherently better than everybody else,
Mm-hmm.
just because he was born with a silver spoon in his mouth.
For sure. For sure.
Um, there's just a lot of that. Like he's definitely handed everything in his life, but he's tired of that. He wants to finally get something done for himself.
Now you said,
And
go ahead, keep
yeah,
going.
and yeah, it makes for it's interesting because the final like confrontation is like Rafe is still trying to one up Nathan Drake, even though Drake's like, dude, you can have it. I don't want it. Fucking leave me alone. But
Exactly. Yeah.
he doesn't care. Like he at that point he's come too far, and
Yep.
he's gone off the deep end.
Yeah.
He's
Well,
he's
a lot
gone
of that has to play in
crazy.
with the game's just general themes of obsession and greed and where that all goes. So it's no longer enough that he found the treasure. It's no longer enough that he's bringing it back. It's now I have to bring this back, but you can't even be breathing for me to enjoy it. Like he's so obsessed with beating Nathan or so obsessed with
Because
doing it himself.
At the end of the day, with Nate being alive, he still wasn't the one that found it.
Yep.
He just followed Nate.
Yep. Yep. Or Nate and Sam did all the heavy lifting, and he was just there.
Mhm.
So yeah, all that's great. You mentioned shooting is the same, and generally, I guess, yeah, it's the third person cover based shooting. You pick up a two handed and a single handed weapon, and then some grenades and stuff. But you didn't feel like the actual like shooting mechanics or how it feels to shoot was different.
I don't know. I guess it was too far between the third game and this one for me to really like. I bet if I went back and looked at them side by side, I'd be able to tell. But just
It's
like the general
quite
feel of
different.
it, is it okay?
Oh,
The
it's
general
quite
feel
different.
seems the same to me.
Nah, it's
Um,
quite a bit different. Huh.
I wish I could still throw grenades back. That's one thing.
True. Yeah. That was a mechanic that was only in 3. And yeah, they brought with it. I think it 3 I think became an element of too much stuff going on, and they wanted to strip that back. Like even if you remember, you were struggling with like how many different like buttons were used for melee combat. So like circle isn't just dodge away; it's grab your enemy, it's break out of your enemy's hold and stuff like this.
Yeah, that was frustrating.
In this one, it's very much just square, triangle. Sure, enemies will grab you sometime. Just mash the triangle button instead. Triangle was only for your counterattacks. We're not gonna have it with throwing back grenades and so forth because it's just it's too much. Because it's also throw back grenades, pick up weapons, swap weapons, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Too much going on. So I think they just simplified it for control scheme's sake. So those high tension moments can still be high tension without you screaming at the controller,
Right.
for inputs that you didn't mean to put in.
I get that. Yeah, there's definitely some frustration with that in 3.
Mm-hmm. So to dive more into gameplay centric stuff, what did you think this time around? Are the high tense action sequences, are they still there? Is it different? How are you feeling?
I think tension's still there. There's a little bit more of like a focus on stealth, I feel, in this one. Granted, because there's like trophies tied to it, right? I don't know if there were
I'm sure
in the
there
older
are.
games,
I don't
but
remember exactly. And the other ones there might be, but it's probably just numbers. It's like perform 20 stealth executions or something.
Yeah, they like their numbers for their trophies in the Uncharted games.
Terrible lists. Terrible lists.
but yeah, I liked the trophy ideas where it's like, oh, hey, get through this whole area, this whole mob of enemies without any of them noticing you, or not necessarily them noticing you, without you
Getting caught.
getting caught, getting
Ghost
shot
your
at,
way through
shooting, yeah,
X area or whatever.
shooting you, or killing any of them. And I especially like the one where you and Elena went through and hopped in the car and just drove away. I thought that was like that felt
That's a
very
neat
Nathan Drake.
that's a neat trophy. I like trophies like that. Sure, I like, but when it's drop kill 20 dudes or get 20
Yeah.
headshots from the rope, it's like, okay, cool. Yeah, now we're just grinding out this area in this one instance until the trophy pops, and it's annoying. Um, rope. I just mentioned, big deal. Yay,
Oh yeah,
nay. How are we
the
feeling?
grappling hook.
Loving.
Grappling hook is awesome. Well, grappling hook is welcome in any game.
Good swinging, good climbing. I like the way the climbing is in this game. It's essentially the same, but the way that they structure it out, design wise, like it feels more organic. It feels like you're actually like it almost feels like an environmental puzzle as opposed to a way to get from A to B, even though it is just a way to get from A to B. And there are even like there are a few routes that like just kind of lead to dead ends, and you go up and you go, oh, this is wrong, and so you go back down and you try and find a different way or some route like that.
Yeah.
Or it's a yeah, you see where you need to be, but there's a thing blocking the way, so use the rope to like get under it to swing to a rock and then climb up that way or so forth.
Yeah.
A little more thought put into the traversal that way.
It's cute.
Yeah, you mentioned the stealth with the sort of like the like you're like you're almost like Far Cry level where like a little notification thing will pop up of like, hey, do I see something there? And then, oh shit, I do see something there type stuff.
I look at that as more of like, granted there's no like eagle vision, but I see more like Assassin's Creed in there.
That works too. Whatever. Pick whichever one you want. Just sort of more modern, whereas in the last game it was straight up just, but he's there. Okay, go get him. Like, and everybody knows exactly where you are. In this one, it's like you have like half a second if you get caught to like, choke him out real quick and be like, get him to shut up before he calls for help. And then there's a bit of a lack of a big set piece moment when directly compared to at least the last two games. With the exception of our convoy scene, which is, a scene that is in every game. But
dude, that scene where we're like just driving away from the like machine gun car, or like I don't remember what it was, but it was like an armored car with like
it's a big armored vehicle. Yeah, through the streets of Madagascar and stuff.
I thought that was awesome.
Yeah, all that's great. And then even when it comes back on the island and you're just running away from it on foot, and it knocks down a tower and you fall with the tower and so forth. Like it's really like, it's things that we've all seen before, not exactly dialed up to 10, like in terms of intenseness or excitement, but like just executed on a level that we haven't seen before, to where like it feels great. It like the energy is correct, the tension is correct. So like it's not as big and grandiose as the plane or the train, but it's like the best convoy sequences and the best chase sequences in the entire series, which is just crazy to say because there's already great moments in each of those games to begin with.
I wasn't a huge fan of like open world's the wrong words, but like the bit where you're just driving around in the car.
The more open bit in Madagascar, that's where they start playing with that idea, and Naughty Dog games are going to continue playing with that idea. Going forward. So Lost Legacy and Last of Us 2 have open segments, even more open than what we saw here. You're not a big fan of that. Why?
I don't know. It's just whenever I'm playing a Nathan Drake game, I'm not expecting to go in that. So I guess maybe they're just trying something new, and it probably just wasn't one of those things that just wasn't for me. I like my in a room solving puzzle, and when I'm not doing that, I'm like killing dudes or running away or stuff like that. I'm not a huge fan of just like, it's a beautiful world, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know, just running around. I get they just wanted to like a place to hide collectibles and like
Well, it's also
it- it-
to have our characters interact with each other, which is a
oh yeah,
big
I
thing
like
that a
that.
lot of people come to these games for, is for just to see our characters interact.
I like that part, but I don't know. I really like the cinematics in this game.
Uh-huh.
I I wish there was just like they would just do that. Like let me just do.
Just give me a 10-minute cutscene. Like, why? Just have 10 minutes of y'all driving around, checking places out. That's all I need. Okay. Interesting.
Like I mean,
Very
I don't
interesting.
know. Maybe I want like a Naughty Dog directed Uncharted movie rather than the
Still
one we
animated,
got.
still
Yeah.
in a game engine.
Yeah, yeah.
Some would say that's
I'd
all
like
they
that.
make,
Fair enough.
Not me. I think people are crazy, but people are people. People got opinions. Yeah, I think this is probably my least favorite example of their open-esque levels. But no, I don't think Naughty Dog ever does the open thing great. I don't know.
Yeah,
The Last of Us 2 one is cool, but that's because like the environmental storytelling in Last of Us is phenomenal. So like, yeah, you just have me scavenging through a section of city. Like, yeah, man, that's going to be cool cuz I'm going to see paintings and I'm going to read letters and I'm going to have notes and characters are going to interact with each other and there's beautiful moments built within that section of the game. Lost Legacy is a lot of like, it is still like that Uncharted thing. It's just you have to drive yourself from puzzle to puzzle or from firefight to firefight, which is cool. I like it better than what happens in 4, but it's still not like, oh my god, mind-blowing stuff. And there is like a side objective thing going on in Lost Legacy, which is cool too. But that's for the future. So other than that, you mentioned the cutscenes. Are there some moments that stand out for you?
Well, there's just Elena and Drake just hanging out in their normal life, and then them interacting is great.
Adorable as shit.
Yeah, it's awesome. The bits where you're on the like island chasing down or hunting down the treasure, the pirate treasure.
Mm-hmm.
Pirates are like one of my favorite like motifs we can go for.
Okay.
Like, in video games.
Sure.
It's a main reason why Assassin's Creed 4 is my favorite Assassin's Creed game. I fucking love when we're hunting down pirate treasure and when there's pirates involved. I love that shit.
Okay.
I eat it up. I eat it up as much as I like tournament arcs in anime. It's awesome. It's my kink. It's good shit. It's
okay.
So when we're hunting down pirate treasure and then there's that scene where at the big table and all the pirate skeletons are there.
Yes.
And it's the meeting where remind me of the where Thomas Two and Henry Avery had poisoned all their constituents. It's fucking great.
Because so
we get to see a supposed done with adventuring Drake still act like a little kid and be excited at like putting together what happened here and the hunt.
Yeah.
He's always itching for the hunt.
Yeah. Well, and then there's that great shot, which might be my favorite shot in the game, where Nathan Drake, your main antagonist, is out of focus. Like they put him out of like he's in the foreground, but he's out of focus, and they focus on Elena's reaction to him getting wrapped up in the story of the history of these pirates, and like her juggling with the fact of like this is the man I love, but this thing that he's obsessed with and the thing that made me fall in love with him is putting a rift between us, but at the same time, like this is why, like, and like just the juggle of that and all that subtext just in that shot alone, and it just focuses on Elena where she's just looking at him while he's doing the quote unquote interesting part, but it's like we've seen him do that interesting part for 4 games now, like like now it's time to see how that affects others around. Like I love that shot so much.
Plus he's been lying to me for like the past like 2 weeks,
exactly,
and even longer about him having a brother. Like he never told me anything about it.
Yeah. The inclusion of Sam Drake while we're on it.
Yeah.
How did you feel about that?
Kind of weird that Naughty Dog just kind of wrote him a brother out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Oh, but no, don't worry. He's just been dead, or quote unquote dead, in a Panamanian jail.
Yep.
For however long, like over a decade.
Yeah, 12, 15 years, something like that. I forget the exact number. But yeah.
I like that escaping from prison bit. That was kind of cool.
Oh, really? Yeah. I guess on a spectacle level, definitely first time through, it's neat. But like, I don't know. I just it's just one of that's the level to me that I'm like any bit in the jail, like whether it's the all three of them in there or it's Sam breaking out. I'm always like, can we get past this bit?
I mean,
I would much rather just walk around Nate and Elena's house for 20 minutes.
I think for me, Uncharted. Granted, I haven't gone back and tried to revisit them as much as you have.
Yeah.
I feel like they're going to be one of the biggest games that like give me like diminishing dopamine returns.
Like, I could see, yeah, I could definitely see that for sure.
Like when you go back and because like you already know what's going to happen, right? Like that's like a big thing with this game. It's like the unexpected happening, or like a fucking train going off a cliff and you climbing up a train, or like you driving through the streets of Madagascar and getting chased by an armored car.
Yeah,
you know, I feel like granted that it might still have the same intensity. But I feel like you're not going to get the same dopamine rush that you.
It won't be the holy shit that just happened moment again.
Yeah, it's a lot like trying to rewatch a Deadpool movie,
or just any comedy movie.
Yeah, that too. I don't know why Deadpool stuck out to me.
I feel that, and I probably agree with you on that. And I wrestled for a long time whether I liked 4 or 2 better. And then on repeat playthroughs, it is 4 that continues to move me emotionally, and to continue to get a reaction out of me. So I think that's why, to me, 4 is my favorite. Even though 2, I think, was groundbreaking and revolutionary for the time, and has still, I think, the best set pieces of the series. But like, it's just the fact that 4, though it has trouble with pacing, the pacing of 4 allows for slower moments and lighter moments to happen, and when the characters just sit down and talk, you go, oh, I'm actually kind of enjoying just hanging out in a house, or I'm actually kind of enjoying this break where I drive around Madagascar and just kind of look around for a little while, or this boat sequence after the emotional highs of the convoy chase sequence. Like, this boat sequence does like supply some much needed relief. So like that to make it even more exciting when moments happen later. So like, I think it's more Uncharted, but it's just executed at a level that Uncharted has never seen before.
I think like another kind of way to phrase what I was saying earlier is I think Naughty Dog exclusively, at least to me, provides more of a dopamine return from rewatching the cutscenes than replaying the gameplay.
With these Uncharted ones, probably, yeah. I would definitely agree with you.
I think most of my and I'm in replaying a game anyway. Yeah. Most of that comes from actually replaying the game, not rewatching the cutscenes. Because typically, like with me, I'm skipping all the cutscenes on a replay.
For sure. Uncharted, probably you wouldn't do that.
This one's almost the opposite. Like, I just want to watch another cutscene movie.
Well, you would almost there are games where like you beat and play, and you'd go, man, I would just kill for like a survival mode, or I would just kill for just this, like for whatever reason, last year's Inscription comes to mind, where like we beat that game and we went, you know what, honestly, I just kind of want to play cards now. Like, I don't want to do the puzzle sequences and the story stuff. Like, I would just kind of want to play the cards.
I'm right there. Yeah. If they released like a card pack of just like Inscription, we'd be playing Inscription all day.
Whereas with Uncharted, and you'll probably feel the same way with Last of Us 1 as well. It's almost a thing of like, yeah, I'm honestly just like this fight is skippable, so I'm just gonna skip it. I'm just gonna run through and get to the end.
Through. Yeah. To the cave at the end of the hallway or whatever.
To where like you don't have access to this in the forums of the game, but like the original Uncharted 4 like has a multiplayer mode and it has a survival mode, and I'm cool. I don't need that. I don't, like,
I'll pass.
Cool that it's there. I appreciate that it's there, but that's not why I'm here. I would rather replay or like, even if like it was like, hey, I want to replay the bits. It's like, hey, I want to replay the convoy sequence. Hey, I want to replay the train. I want to replay the plane. It's not, I want to replay the 1,000th battle arena where just monster closet after monster closet of random goons come out. You know, like that. Those parts aren't the fun parts. It's the huge parts, yeah, and the characters and all that.
This franchise, I think, is much more like high on character than like actual gameplay for me.
So we have not gotten to Last of Us on this show yet, but we will eventually, just in the future. And there's I think it's quite apparent just in design and in gameplay and in tone. There's a huge shift in Naughty Dog post Last of Us. Where I don't want to say things are more grounded by any means, but there's a definite like style change in this where like, you know, in the first 3 games, like, yeah, sure, there's collectibles or whatever, but it's just like you pick up little treasures, you look at it, you go, okay, cute, whatever, and then like you ignore it for the most part. But this one, it's like, oh, when he busts out the notebook, like you see him writing in the notebook. You know, there's a more attention to detail now. You know, he'll pick up letters of other adventurers who tried and failed, or he'll pick up, you know, little like environmental details that kind of build out the world a little more this time around.
You got all the skeletons in the cages.
Yeah. Did any of that play for you at all? Any of the environmental storytelling type stuff happening?
I think is mostly when we were at what's the pirate area called? Libertalia. Oh, it came to me at the same time. Fucking yeah, like the one that comes to my brain right now is like, I guess one of the pirates' wives did something. It's like he like ended up, like, one of them killed one of their wives, so then they like hanged the other one's wife.
Yep.
Like,
I've done to you what you did to me, or whatever the note says, or whatever.
Yeah, it was something like that. And it was just, you know, all that stuff. It was just all that sticks out in Libertalia. Yeah. Like they got the little town with like the bar that you can go talk to Sam in. There's all that like cool stuff.
Yeah, that little moment. Yes.
Yeah, where like you go sit down in the chair and you both like have like the empty glasses.
Well, then I also think, you know, when you first enter Libertalia, there's the moment where they enter the jail and they like start playing with swords a little bit, and they, you know, they do the classic like the whatever it's called, where you stick your head and your arms in and you're locked up that way.
Oh, the stockades.
The stockade like type stuff, and they play with that, and they, you know, Nate makes a little drawing and does a little joke to Sam or whatever. Like, there's a bunch of notes that I remember, like, as we were playing, I was like, I want him to read this note. Oh, in the flashback sequence, when you are walking through the old lady's house, and you're watching her, you know, her obsession and her greed and her want to go adventuring tear her family apart, and then, you know, how that parallels with what Nate is doing with Elena. I think all of that is fucking phenomenal, and the writing in those notes is solid. Like, you get like real, like, you know, when you eventually find the note of the son saying, hey, yo, fuck you, like, you weren't around, you're not my mother, like, I don't need you in my life, you weren't there when dad was sick. Like, you feel it and you're like, god damn, like, this is the path that Nate is on.
You can see that's where Nate's headed if he doesn't focus more on what he has rather than what he wants.
And then I think it even builds into that moment,
chased it down,
into the third act, when Sam is still obsessed with the treasure and Nate is focused on getting home, and, you know, Sam drops the line, yo, like, all due respect, they don't get it, and he just looks at him and goes, you know, and thinks back on our previous 3 adventures and goes, nah, dude, they actually do, like, they get it more than either of us get it, you know.
Just not giving them credit.
All great stuff, all fantastic stuff, and it, I think it plays into the fact of why this game is my favorite, is because Nathan and the characters around him even go on an actual character arc this time around. In the last 3 games, more or less, like, they end up in the same spot they began with. They're just fun, charismatic characters that you're like happy you're getting along and playing around. Like, it's literally like, beginning of the game, Nate and Elena not together. End of the game, they are, but they're still quipping and they're still doing this, that, and the third. Whereas, like, by the end of this one, it's like, yo, man, I'm tired. Like, I need to put this down. I need to go find something that actually matters to me, not this emptiness that I feel at the end of every adventure, which kind of, like, is almost meta speak, because, like, at the end of an Uncharted adventure, you feel kind of empty because you're like, that was great and that was fun, but now it's over.
It's like,
And
what do I have?
yeah,
What do
now
I
I
go for it?
wait for the next one, I guess.
I think this Uncharted game has like the hardest hitting subtitle
A
because
Thief's End.
it's the hardest hitting because it I think to me uh is one has is the most like open in a manner of speaking, and
Mhm.
also like it makes the most sense, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Well,
it's
it actually plays into the themes of the game where like the
yeah.
other one it was just like kind of just a cool title, whatever like they thought was cool.
Oh, Drake's Fortune.
Drake, yeah,
Ooh,
Drake's Fortune, Drake's
Drake's
Deception,
Deception.
Among Thieves, Honor Among
Well,
Thieves,
I
something
think
like
it's
that.
I think it, no, Honor Among Thieves is Sly. You're looking. It's
Yeah,
just
that's where I get confused. Is Sly 3 is called Honor Among Thieves, so I guess it's just Uncharted 2 Among Thieves. Is that it?
Yeah.
That's it. All
I think I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
right. And then where was I going? Oh, and then I remember in the lead up to Uncharted 4, that subtitle people were dissecting the fuck out of it because like it was
They're
that
like,
plus
Drake's gonna die.
yeah,
Oh.
that plus the marketing tone was different. It wasn't fun
Mhm.
craziness. It was kind of dreary and like mysterious, and it was dark in the marketing. And we were like, oh, yo, Drake, this is gonna be the end of Drake. Like this one is the one that's gonna do him in. And like, I don't know, that would be weird, right? Like Uncharted is supposed
weird,
to be,
yeah.
there's supposed to be fun, pulp adventures. Like, yeah, sure, we're taking ourselves a little more seriously, and our characters are going on actual arcs, but it's like a level of arc of like the difference between like Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade versus the fucking, what's the third one called? Or is that the third one? That's the third one. Last Crusade is the
Third
third
one
one.
is
What's
Last
the first
Crusade.
one?
Yeah. First
Lost
one's
Ark. Raiders
Lost
of
Ark.
the
Yeah.
Lost Ark. So the difference between like Raiders and Last Crusade, where like Jones goes on a actual arc in that one, whereas the first two are carbon copy, like on to the next one, like type adventure.
Yeah.
Which, kind of hard not to compare Uncharted and Indiana Jones. Phil, anything else worth mentioning over here on the Uncharted 4's A Thief's End?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I really like the amount of fucking Naughty Dog games we played on this show. Holy shit.
Yeah, we've played a lot. Why did I not? I didn't put my score down for Spyro 2. That's weird.
And there's only more to come.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We've still got some more to go. Like you definitely. I know you've got me playing some Crash here soon.
Yeah,
some more Crash.
At least 2 more crashes. Yeah.
And then at some point we'll get to our Last of Us's at
Yeah.
some point. So here, Phil, while we are here, we like to do scores on this show. Just throw up some quick ones. Here we go. Just a quick reminder. You, for Uncharted 1, did a 6 out of 10. I agreed with you with a 6 out of 10. Uncharted 2, you did 7.5. I did 8. Uncharted 3, we both did 7s. Uncharted 4, A Thief's End. How are you feeling about Uncharted 4 here, buddy, for a final score?
I'm gonna go ahead and throw Uncharted: A Thief's End at an 8.5.
8.5. Awesome.
Yep.
Highest
One full number score.
highest scoring Uncharted game that you've given to date. Uncharted 4 Thief's End is one of my favorite video games of all time. I think the pace and the excitement and the intensity of all of its big moments are great. I think it's some of the best character stories that has ever happened in video games. Because I think Naughty Dog just fucking kills it with that shit. I think the gameplay's at its best. It's at its most fun. The way it feels to move throughout the world, I think Naughty Dog is the best at that. Specifically, like where even like you hop into the water, and in a lot of games, like you're like, fuck, now I gotta fucking swim, and it feels stiff, and I don't like it. You think of Assassin's Creed. You think of any other there's no swimming in Batman, is there? If it's any like change of pace from just walking around as the main character where you spend 80% of the time, usually if they ever change that up, you go, fuck this bit. But in Uncharted 4, I never feel that way. I hop in the water and it feels just as good and just as fluid as when I'm running around or when I'm swinging on the rope or when I'm driving a car. Like it just kind of feels right at all times. Along with some of the best character moments, and granted, like they're playing off of nostalgia at this point, and they're playing off of fan service at this point. But to me, Uncharted 4 Thief's End is a 9 out of 10. I just think the only thing that really holds it back is that some of its pacing issues, it really does like grind to a halt when you get to the boat segment or you know, the early Scotland level where it's like a lot of fucking climbing, or when you first hit the Libertalia Island and you know, it's a low moment for the character, so narratively it makes sense, but mechanically and gameplay wise you're like, can we move along, please?
There's some notable slogs, I suppose. Yeah.
For sure. But other than that, man, like I think everything feels great. I don't think the shooting is the most like innovative shooting in the world, but it's better than it's ever been, and it gets you to where you need to go, and it's the only way you can have this type of experience in games, which is great. Ladies and gentlemen, that is it for our Uncharted 4 A Thief's End After the Hype review. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, you can catch us playing games live, twitch.tv/2pennygames. And the 2 Penny Games cast goes live every Monday, 8 a.m., youtube.com/2pennygamescast. And mainstream podcast services of your choice. Please go check all that out. And everybody, until next time, have a great time. And Phil, say goodbye to the people.
Gavin loves Sonic.